Hello and welcome. My name's Kat and I'm going to be taking you through today's practice. I thought today we'd spend a bit of time exploring how we can develop maybe a bit more pelvic floor awareness and open the invitation for strength to come into the pelvic floor area and all the supportive parts of the body to that area in a really gentle, soft way. So I know there are a lot of really intense movements we could do, some maybe more hardcore experiences we can put our pelvis through. But today I thought I'd go through something a little more gentle, maybe a little more sophisticated for our pelvic area. All you're going to need is your wonderful self and enough room to stretch out your body, maybe a few cushions like I've collected along the way. And once you are ready, maybe create a bit of a quieter space, create a bit of privacy for yourself so that you can start to feel maybe a sense of quiet. Even start to cultivate a space of calm. When you're ready, let's come down to the ground and find a neutral position for the back body, with the back of your head maybe resting along a pillow today. And if you're taking the pillow underneath the back of your head, check that there's still space between your neck and the ground beneath you, so that only the back of the head is elevated here. Then we might open out through the arms, turn the palms of the hands upwards. Your feet are flat to the floor, your knees are bent so that the spine is resting in a neutral place. And you could let the fingertips curl lightly, or even bring your first finger and your thumb to touch. And once you've landed, notice how you feel today. You might like to close your eyes and feel your breath moving through your body. Let's start with an awareness of the breath. Maybe drawing 5 mindful breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling long, silent, whistling breaths out through your mouth. Allowing your breath to flow naturally again. Whenever you feel ready, you might start to move out into your fingers, maybe stretching the fingers out wide and then squeezing them into little fists. You might press your feet into the ground. Maybe we press the inner arches and then the outer edges. Maybe pressing into the toes and then back into the heels. Let's start to slide the feet in, perhaps a little closer to the glutes, and rest the hands by the side of the body with the palms turned down. So there's a real sense with the pressing of the palms and the feet to the floor of grounding down, of creating an anchor. Then let's start to press the feet into the floor so that we can lift the hips up high. Once you've lifted your hips, try and level the hip bones, engaging the glutes, maybe engaging the inner thigh space, the adductors. Let's see if we can find a steady breath here. Before we exhale, release the spine down to the ground, 1 vertebrae at a time. When the hips meet with the floor, allowing the palms of the hands to rest upwards. Maybe even resting the first finger and the thumb to touch lightly. Take a breath here. Preparing to move again, let's press the palms of the hands down, really signify to the body that we're getting ready to move. We're getting ready to press the feet into the ground and lift the hips up high. Let's aim for 3 steady breaths here, engaging the glutes, engaging the inner thigh space, keeping those hips level, articulating the spine from the neck space down to the tailbone as you exhale, 1 vertebrae at a time. When the hips meet with the ground, let the palms of the hands rest upwards. Bring the first finger and the thumb to touch lightly. Let's start to step the feet out wider than the hips now. Maybe open the arms out a little bit further away from the body so that we can roll the feet both to the left, halfway towards the ground. So not fully releasing the knees today. And then let's roll both feet back to center again. Rolling the feet across to the right halfway. And then rolling the feet flat to the floor. You could time this with your breath now. You could exhale, roll the feet across to the left, halfway. Inhale, roll the feet flat to the floor again. Exhale, roll the feet across to the right, halfway. Inhale, roll the feet flat again. So we're creating a smaller, smooth opening, maybe along the diagonal across the body. You might feel the lower part of your spine shifting along the ground. Let's keep going until we're even on each side of the body. Rolling the feet flat to the floor again. I'm going to step them back in towards the glutes in line with my hips and get ready for another variation of bridge. I'm going to take the hands beside the body. I'm actually going to steal one of these pillows here and I'm going to slide them into the inner thigh space. So I'm not really interested in my knees, much more interested in the adductors here. I'm preparing to come into the bridge form again. I press the palms of the hands into the ground. I press the feet into the floor to lift up through the hips. Once you've lifted here, see what it feels like now that we have the added assignment of the pillow in between the thighs. Hold here and notice if this brings you maybe a greater sense of centering, maybe a greater sense of strength in and around the pelvic floor area. Let's find an exhale to slowly roll down. Once your hips meet with the ground, let the palms of your hands rest upwards. Allow for a breath here of rest. And then we'll try it again, turning the palms of the hands down, pressing the feet into the floor. Once you've lifted, really squeezing into that pillow for 3 breaths. Finding an exhale to gently release down. And when you release down, let's release the pillow. Release the palms of the hands up a little bit away from the body. Step the feet out and we'll come into that small sway almost where we're rolling the feet halfway towards the left and then coming back to center. Rolling halfway to the right and back to center. So it's almost as if we're lulling our body into a softer space in between the really strong, engaging forms. And exploring maybe how does the pelvis feel about this? How does your lower spine, how do your hips feel with these movements? Let's aim for 1 more on each side so we're even on each side of the body before we meet in center again. When you're even in center, we're stepping back up into the bridge. I'm going to give the body a slightly different assignment now. I'm going to add in 2 of these pillows. Now, my pillows are quite thin. If yours were thick and challenging enough, you could stay with 1, but I'm going to bring in 2 now. I've stepped my feet in close to the glutes in line with my hips, and I'm turning the palms of my hands down. Preparing to press the feet and the hands into the floor before I lift up through the hips. Re-engage those adductors here for a few breaths before we slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Pausing for a breath once you've released through the hips. We try it again, turning the palms of the hands down, pressing the feet and the hands into the floor, lifting up the spine. Notice the difference that might be occurring through the body, through the experience of bridge with the two pillows, or maybe one thicker pillow in between the quads. 3 breaths here before we slowly reach down and we release those pillows out again. Stepping the feet out, a gentle sway, only halfway. Remember, we're keeping it smaller. Dare I say, slightly more sophisticated, something a bit more subtle. I often find when I move in smaller ways, I feel so much more. I sometimes can feel with these rotations a stretch through my knees, or simply noticing how the hips are moving. Are they moving with a sense of smoothness? Are they feeling heavy? All vital information about our bodies can be received when we sometimes slow down and move a little more carefully. When you've moved on each side evenly, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees splay out wide. If it feels more supportive, feel free to rest your hands along your torso here. We're opening up into a diamond form with the legs. And as we exhale, our intention will be to squeeze the inner thigh space together to roll the feet flat to the floor. Inhale to expand out with the knees. Exhale to draw in together. Let's explore maybe 3 more breaths in this space. And maybe after that third exhalation, you release the knees apart and notice how they land now. Notice, how do your hips, how does your pelvic area feel now? From here, we're going to slide the right leg flat along the floor. Keep the left knee bent. I'm going to flex through that right leg so that my right side of my body is anchored here. And we're in a reclined tree form. You could open out through your arms, inviting space to move through the sides of the torso. You might even bring your first finger and thumb to touch lightly. Let's find one more breath here. And then we'll roll the left foot flat to the floor. Bring the right foot to meet the left. Extend out with the left leg. Flex through the left foot and bring your right foot to the inside of that left leg. So exploring our reclined tree on the other side. Remember, if we keep that left foot flexed, you might feel a little more anchored in this form. You might not be tipping over to one side. It might be a bit more centered as the left hip stays active, or the left side of the body rather. Let's find our breath here. And then return the right foot flat to the floor. Slide the left foot up to meet the right. Let's heel toe the feet out wider than the hips so that the knees can knock in together. Maybe closing your hands somewhere along your torso. So See if you can feel your breath moving through your fingertips. And maybe for the last part of this practice, your assignment could be to explore 10 mindful breaths. Of course, you might notice that your mind tends to wander, as is completely natural and normal for our exquisite minds to do. And perhaps you come back into your breath one more time, and through your breath, maybe come home to your body again. Notice how you feel. Maybe feeling into the parts of your body that meet with the ground beneath you. Preparing to close today's practice with the same breath we began. Finding 5 mindful breaths. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling long, silent, whistling breaths out through your mouth. Allowing your breath to flow naturally again whenever you feel ready. Smiling and appreciating all that you've done to take care of your health today, through the time, the effort and the energy you've drawn inwards. Knowing that that is something you'll carry with you now wherever you go from here. And before you go from here, maybe starting to reawaken with the utmost of care in ways that feel right for your body. You might even roll to the side and rest for a breath before coming upright. Or if it feels appropriate, you could rock and roll into any comfortable seated form. Once you've landed upright, checking in with the ground beneath you, scanning the space you've landed, taking your time as you get up into the rest of your day. As you go off into your day or your evening, I say thank you. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your presence here with me today. Hey there, if you've enjoyed moving with me, why not move with me a little bit more? I've got a virtual studio online and available for you right now for only $35 Australian per month. All you have to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, send me a quick email at my website catlane.net, or better yet, just leave me a comment here on this video, and then I'll get back to you. We can have it all sorted. You can cancel anytime, no extra fees. More movement with me. Over 25 videos ready for you to go with more than 60 minutes each of footage helping you move better, helping you move well as 4 new videos every month. Hit me up, say hello, and I'll see you soon.